Well, hello and welcome back to the Cruise Corner podcast. I'm your co-host, Jack Carter, and I'm thrilled to say that joining us for the third and final installment of our special Titan Travel series is the company's Director of Trade Distribution, Shane Lewis Riley. Welcome back, Shane.
Thank you. Back by unpopular demand. forced my way in for a third episode.
Well, we're we'd like to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks, Jack.
Well, for those of you who are listening who haven't tuned into our previous two episodes, I urge you to do so. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground, a bit like Titan Travel guests.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground about sort of what makes an escorted touring holiday so unique. Mm-hmm. So now that we've sort of laid that groundwork, we're going to make things super easy for our agent listeners. We're going to give them some cold, hard selling tips to help them grow their touring sales. So just to start off with, say I'm a travel agent. Why is 2026 a great time for me to start selling escorted tour holidays?
Yeah, I think it's a great time because touring is on the up. It's one of the fastest growing sectors in the travel industry. So it's a very lucrative sector to be able to get behind. So there's lots of variety of tour companies ranging from ones that cater towards some of the younger demographic, ones like ourselves that cater towards the affluent premium pensioners or pre-retirees that have got that disposable income and disposable time. Generally, touring is for those people that perhaps are in their retirement time. So they've just retired or just slightly pre-retirement. And the great thing is they're wanting to spend that money now. They're not wanting to leave that money to be taxed or leave it behind. And in the UK right now, by the time we get to 2030, there'll be more people over the age of 50 than there are children in the UK. So it is a lucrative sector to really get behind. And I think it will continue to follow the trajectory that cruise did, where cruise was seen as quite a niche holiday, and then it's blown up to really be a mainstream, well-considered holiday that people would never have considered 20 years ago. I do think touring is on that same level of trajectory too, and will continue to grow and will continue to become more and more accessible to people that thinking, I want to go and explore destinations, but I'm not quite sure how to do it.
So the market is evidently there. Mm-hmm. And you're right, touring is kind of going through a bit of a perception shift. Mm-hmm. What is it about touring that you think is appealing to guests today?
Yeah, I think we've seen a shift since that COVID time, dare we talk about it. I think we've seen that people are looking for a lot more from their holidays. So holidays are no longer defined by a fly and flop, I'm going to go sit on the beach, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people will do that for their holiday. But I think people are looking to get more from their experience now. They want to maximize their time away and they want to see and do as much as they can. And I think, when I was a kid, programs like Wish You Were Here are all about go to this holiday destination, look at this beach. Now we're inspired by programs like Race Across the World and those kind of programs that are inspiring us to destinations that we're seeing now and thinking, well, I want to do that. And touring allows customers to be able to immerse themselves into those destinations in a very considered and measured way that allows you to be able to have everything catered for you that you need, but also the blend of having that free time as well. So, hence why I think it's an incredible opportunity for agents to get behind. Not only that, commercially, we include so much, particularly at Titan, we include so much in the holiday price. So the average selling price does lead to very lucrative earning opportunities as well. So when it comes down to cold, hard commercial numbers, where you're going to make the most money, then without a doubt, touring will give you a great opportunity to earn a very strong living.
Good. Well, we'll get on to that a bit later on in this episode, but go on and give me your sort of first top tip for agents who are looking to expand into the touring sector. Yeah. What would that one sort of crystallizing tip?
Yeah, I think it's about looking at the variety of the touring holidays, and don't just assume a touring holiday is a 50-seater coach, because it's not anymore. There's so many varieties to it. And I think you can match a touring type product to every holiday that your customer does. So if you've got a customer, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, have always done a package holiday to Spain, look at our Stay and Explore product. Something like Small Boats of Andalusia means you stay in the same hotel the entire holiday. You'll have a couple of down days, but it does include all of their excursions to be able to go and immerse themselves into that destination a little bit more. Equally, think of safaris. People might not think of safari as a touring product, but it's actually one of our top selling products. So actually thinking of safari, that those kind of experiences we do so well. So don't just kind of think of touring as a 50-seater coach. So for me, the variety that we've got in our brochure, you can match them to the type of customer, whether it is a package holiday customer, if it's a cruise customer. We've got a cruise and touring product, which the cruise is a key part of the experience, but you've got the land element as part of that too. So I think we said in the last episode, there is a type of travel holiday for everybody. So find out what your customer is interested in, and you've got no doubt that you can match the product to what they're looking for.
You mentioned there sort of cruise and touring. I mean, that's in some instances quite a good way to make touring more palatable if you would attach it onto a cruise. That obviously then means sort of a higher price tag. But should agents sort of be scared or intimidated by pitching a full-on tour at the beginning? Or is cruise and tour a good kind of stepping stone?
I think it's a perfect stepping stone. So if you take Alaska, for example, we partner with Holland America, so we partner with the best. So the cruise experience is already going to be amazing, but we've done all the land arrangements for them. So we do the Rocky Mountaineer Railway. We'll have all the hotels sorted out. You get 2 days stay at Lake Louise. We take care of all of that and put it all together. And we're unique, as we mentioned in the other episodes, that we pick all of our customers up from their own front door and return them back to their front door. So as a tour operator, we take away any of the stress and worry because we're responsible for the customer from door to door. So in terms of financial protection, in terms of making sure everything else is taken care of and looked after, they're under our care for the full time. So as a travel agent, I would want to make sure that my guests are taken care of, and they can be assured that due to the repeat rate and the satisfaction rates that we have, their customers not only will be taken care of, but they will then come back and make another booking. So on average, 50% of our customers come back and rebook within 2 years. So every Titan travel booking essentially is worth 1.5 bookings because you know they're going to come back.
Yeah. And that's a great review or reference in itself, isn't it? The fact that they are coming back.
Yeah, exactly. And they're coming back, and sometimes going back to the same destination, but a different level of experience. And we talked in the other episode about Japan. The essence of Japan will be often the first tour that a customer would do in Japan, and they get to tick off those must-see destinations, but then they go back and do more in-depth tour where they go off that beaten track to destinations that perhaps most people haven't heard of, and they get to go and explore kind of real rural areas of Japan, which is going to give them that experience.
And I think that's an important distinction to make. A tour doesn't just necessarily mean a deep dive into some faraway land. It can be a water ski across the kind of must-see regions and cities. Yeah. But then there is an opportunity to go even deeper second time around.
Yeah, exactly. So if you were to do, I don't know, Golden Triangle is one of our most popular. It's Golden Triangle of India. It's a very different experience to going to on our Southern India tour. It is just a completely different experience. So quite often we'll find customers will go back to the same country several times because they'll go to do the Golden Triangle, then they'll hear about the South, and then they'll get inspired to want to do the South. So yeah, there's so much variety, and I think just putting it out there as an option, because what I find is a lot of people don't even know that is an option. So when I joined Titan, my parents, we've always cruised, we've always done other holidays. They'd never even considered a touring holiday. And when I joined and they started looking through the brochure, they booked the Alaska and Rocky Mountaineer tour because they're like, oh, we didn't know this was a thing. And when as soon as you drop the icing on the cake to say, oh, we'll pick you up from your front door as well. It's like, oh, this is too easy, right? Well, happily let someone else take care of that. And they almost couldn't believe it because they were like, oh, what do we have to do about that bit then? I was like, it's done. You literally just have to worry about enjoying it, and that's all you have to do. Yeah. So it just makes life so much easier.
Product knowledge is obviously kind of the sort of first real step to getting that confidence and being able to sell a new product. I mean, we've obviously spoken about in previous episodes in this series, Cruise Trade News and our sister site, What Are Cruising, have this amazing new Titan travel segment. And those of you who subscribe to Cruise Trade News, which I'm sure all of you who are listening to this do, you'll be getting that through your letterbox or on your desk at work. Yeah. So that's going to be packed full of loads of Titan travel inspiration and information on your best-selling tours, but also up-and-coming destinations and loads of really great selling tips.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that piece. I think when we started discussing what that piece was going to be, we wanted it to be kind of the next level away from the brochure. The brochure will tell you kind of all the key selling points, and I urge you to use the brochure because it is designed in a way to sell the product, obviously. But this piece allows you to tell the stories beneath the brochure, and it's got elements from our product managers in there. And I know we talked about in episode 2, but the product managers, they curate these experiences. They're a labor of love. They go to the destinations, they check the hotels, they check the accommodation, everything that we do, they're making sure that it's exactly as we want the experience to be. So for me, we can be assured that product is going to be incredible. Nothing happens by accident. Everything has been very carefully curated and measured to make sure that the holiday has the perfect blend of that downtime and the experiences that you get to see and do while you're there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we tried really hard to sort of put travel agents in those destinations as they're reading these PSs. And so when it comes to relaying that experience to their clients, it'll kind of hopefully feels like they've already sort of been and done it.
Yeah. Hopefully give them some inspiration about destinations as well. Because I know talking to the product managers, I was talking to a product manager recently. I think this is actually in the piece where she goes into Romania and she talks a lot about the destination. And I'd never even considered it. And as soon as she told me a few facts about it, I was like, well, that's something I need to look into. So hopefully the supplement will lead to a bit more research into destinations that perhaps our agents may not have considered, and just to give it a go, right? Put it out there, let customers know that you do it, because quite often they might not even realize that these are the types of holidays that you do. And they're quite often looking to do these different destinations now, and they're reading up on, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. These are destinations that are on the up, and we're looking at adding more and more tours into those destinations. So don't be afraid to put them out there. What's the worst that can happen, right? Put them out there and let customers know that you can sell touring. And then selfishly, from a Titan travel perspective, it's as easy as it can possibly be. They'll pick them up at the front door, we'll drop them off in the middle. You just let the customer know everything else that they're doing in between. It's taken care of.
So once someone has read the supplement, where should they go next?
Yeah, so a great place to go to is Titanium, which is our travel agent closed user group. And I'd recommend our travel agent partners to join that. That, for a number of reasons, has all the latest incentives. It will all have all of the latest social media offers and deals, so you can just lift and post them. But also, we also get together regularly with our product managers. So every month we will interview one of our product managers, and we'll deep dive into a destination that they're focused on, and that's their priority. So because they go to these destinations so often, they're able to tell us the inside scoop, and that's what the supplement does so well. It picks out some of that really kind of experience and that unique knowledge that the product managers have, and be able to bring that to life. So the whole point of Titanium is to inspire and inform. So we want them to be able to join us on Titanium, probably to get the best from what we do.
And there are assets on there that they can take away.
Yeah, there are assets. There's lift and shift deals. So it literally is copy the content. You can post it on your social medias. You don't even have to say it's Titan, because we don't want to steal your customers. We want to make sure you're driving them to your traffic. So it's all brand neutral. So you can pick it out. You know who it is, obviously, but they can post it on their pages, and ready-made deals ready to go.
And you mentioned incentives earlier, and this can be potentially quite a lucrative type of holiday or travel sector to really kind of get involved in. Talk to Adam more about that and what you guys offer to agents.
Yeah, so not only is the commission lucrative, because we've got a high average selling price, so that means higher commission levels, right? So, but we also have Titan Rewards. So Titan Rewards is something we're very proud of. For every single booking that a travel agent makes, they will get a guaranteed £10 per booking. That goes straight into their pocket through Titan Rewards. So 10 points is £10. And then they also get to spin the wheel. So we have our winning wheel. So you claim your £10 guaranteed. You can then earn up to £250 on the spinning wheel. And that's for every single booking. So it ranges from £5 to £250. So that goes on top of that £10. So a booking could be worth 260 quid on top of your commission earnings. So and then as we are in peaks, we have actually made every winning spin a guaranteed win. And so there's lots of earning opportunities as well. So commission, brilliant. Repeat rate, brilliant. And also some incentives to get the money in your own pocket.
And that's all available on Titanium?
That's all on Titanium, yes, of course. And if you do need any more information, then you can just drop an email to tradesupport@titantravel.co.uk. And of course, we'll send all the links and everything you need to be able to sign up.
Amazing. I wanted to talk just quickly before we end about sort of how cruise and touring kind of intersect. I mean, there are a lot of similarities, I imagine, in terms of the experience, and that would make touring appeal to someone who's more cruise focused.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to me a little bit about that in terms of sort of the convenience, the comfort, maybe the levels of luxury, but also then touch upon like what beyond that does a touring holiday offer?
Yeah, I think it's, we talked about in one of the other episodes that I think they go together like a horse and cart, really. And I think as an industry, we're sometimes guilty of segmenting the two things and thinking of the customer as one or the other. And reality is they're not, right? They will take a cruise holiday, they'll take a touring holiday, etc. What cruising does so well, and I worked in it for 20 years, so I'm very respectful for cruising. I still love cruising and I still will cruise myself. But it gives you a taster of destinations, right? You often don't get a huge amount of time in those destinations. So it's a brilliant introduction to those ports of call. What touring allows customers to then do is take their cruise experience, say, right, how do I now go and get deeper and further away from the port and really get a full experience of Italy or Japan or whatever it might be. So you can allow it to simmer and allow your experience to really kind of live and breathe the cultures that you're in. So cruising will introduce, but I think touring will allow you to simmer into the experience a little bit more and take more away from the country and the experiences that you're traveling to. Cruising is so popular because of the ease of it, right? And it's a cliche, but unpack once, it's really easy. Whilst you won't just unpack once on a tour, you've got the porterage, someone's handling your luggage for you from the vehicle to your hotel front door. Everything that you need to be included is included, but also the blend of that free time. And I often talk about value for money, but value for time. I think a cruise offers incredible value for time because you get to experience multiple destinations in one place. A tour will often allow you to experience deeper levels of a destination in a short space of time. So both offer the synergies of value for money and value for time. So that's where I think there is a very clear crossover of the two. And I just consider a tour of, it's a land cruise in a lot of ways, because you're going from destination to destination.
You mentioned something really interesting earlier about how travel is presented on television these days, and it's changed so much. I remember times where the time of like Coach Trip, for example, and then you look at Race Across the World. It's appealing to the general public's greater desire for adventure. I think. Are you noticing that? Are you noticing that clients, whether they be cruise, land or tour, wherever they come from, are much more hungry for deeper adventure and deeper exploration?
100%. And without a doubt, those kind of programs are inspiring people to go and wanting to go do those kind of things. I often find as well, there is a checklist. So I say our typical clients are early retirees, or just slightly pre-retirement. And I often find they've got a list of things that they really want to tick off. And it was interesting recently because there was a survey that happened where we asked how many customers would want to live beyond 100. And actually it was a very small percentage because what they were bothered about was adding more enjoyment to their life and more life to their years than years to their life. So they really want to make the most of those retirement years and go and explore those destinations. But getting to tick bucket list destinations off that perhaps 20 years ago would have deemed impossible to them. And I think nowadays when you look at a 50 and 60-year-old, even a 70-year-old, they're not what they were when I was 10 and 20, there's a different mindset. It's almost everyone's a decade younger than they perhaps were previously. So they do want to go and explore, and they've got the time rich. They've often got the funds that, they don't want to leave behind for the tax man. So they're looking to spend it and go and experience it now. And I think since the time when we couldn't travel in COVID, I think that all that did was add gasoline to that fire of wanting to go and explore and immerse yourself into destinations and capture those memories. That I think touring does so well, but cruise is that brilliant introduction to that too.
So to summarize, now is a great time to get into escorted touring. Why?
It's incredibly lucrative, but it very much like cruise was. When cruise had that surge, touring is having that surge moment now, and it will continue to grow. So it's an amazing lucrative opportunity, but also allows you to expand your customer database, right? So the customers that are booking touring might not be the ones that you are currently selling to. So it's a really good opportunity to expand your business too.
And travel agents who are looking to get more information, assets, just more inspiration, can head to Titanium.
We'll drop the link in somewhere. So we'll give a link. That's what they do. I've always wanted to do that. We'll drop the link. Click right there. So we'll drop the link so they can actually contact the team. We've doubled the size of our team, so we've got a team there to support you firsthand. We can make sure that we can come to your stores or get on a Zoom. And if you want us to talk to your customers with you, we're more than happy to do that. That's a brilliant way to be able to, if you're not quite sure, it's perfect for us to come and help sell to your customer on your behalf, because then you pick up those sales tools and those sales tips to be able to go and use for the future too.
Brilliant. Well, Shane, I think that's a great place to end it. Before we overload our listeners with too much insight, too much information, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll just like to end by saying to our listeners or our viewers on YouTube, make sure you look out for the Titan Travel Supplement coming with Cruise Trade News January issue. everything you need to know about Titan Travel, about Escorter Touring Holidays, about why this is such a unique and growing sector of the travel industry is all in those pages.
Yeah.
And for further education, head to Titanium, head to the Titan Travel website, or reach out to Shane yourself. I'm sure you won't mind you bothering him.
Absolutely not. I'm completely open book. So no, seriously, I am here for anybody that wants to chat about it, because we are here to support and hopefully doing good for the touring sector as well by getting people to consider it. So there's a wide range of products. And of course, I'm very selfish to say, I think Titan is a brilliant way to be able to travel.
Shane, thank you very much.
Thanks, Shane.